Good morning and welcome to the Speak Easy podcast, Midweek Touchpoint. This is a platform, the Touchpoint, where we provide inspiration and encouragement to our listening audience because our world is so troubled right now and so many devastating things are happening. Every day we turn on the news and there's something that has occurred that is really heartbreaking and earth shattering. And so today we have a fantastic, inspirational guest, Latisha Lewis Price, my cousin in love. She's a Mary Kay consultant, and she's going to come and share some nuggets of inspiration and encouragement for you. So, welcome, Latisha. How are you?
I am well, Connie. I am doing well. Thank you for having me on. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you for joining us and agreeing to come and share. So tell the listening audience who you are and what it is that you do.
Well, I am Latisha Lewis Price, and I am number one, a child of God, and I'm a wife. I'm the wife of Connie's first cousin, Danny Price, and I'm also a Mary Kay sales director here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. I love what I do. I love the freedom and flexibility that this has allowed me. And I love the fact that I can inspire and empower women.
Wow. Wow. And that's so important because
Hmm.
there's so many women that need to be empowered. They've
Yes, ma'am.
lost their voice for whatever reason. Some feel they've never had a voice. And so they need that push and that inspiration. And so I thank God for what He's allowed me to do to inspire and encourage. And I thank you for joining us tonight. So, what words of encouragement and inspiration do you have to offer to our listening audience today?
Oh, wow. Wow. Connie, there's there's so much going on, and I love to speak about and just let me just take a step back. Um the church I belong to, and we we're going through this series called Legends of the Bible. And the beautiful thing about that is there are people that we forget about. And then we be and then as I was sitting in service on Sunday, he talked about um Jonah. An amazing thing. And I'm gonna tie this up. Just give me a second. I'm gonna tie this. The amazing thing about Jonah, we've always heard of Jonah and the whale, of Jonah and the big fish. But to be honest with you, I knew he was going to a place to spread the gospel. However, I didn't know the place. I knew it was Nibia, but I didn't know what type of place Nibia was. So now going backwards a little bit, Jonah was given an assignment, just like God has given us an assignment and instruction. And as our pastor was speaking Sunday, and I was sitting there listening, all I heard when he was speaking about Jonah, I was sitting there saying, Letitia, you have been running away from the assignment. So as many of us have been running away from the assignment, but God's purpose will be fulfilled. It will be. And even if we try to take every detour, he will pick us up and carry us there. And then the beauty on the other side, and you sit there and you say, why did I take 1,500 detours and all I needed to do was take 10? I want to see the promised land. I don't, even though as much as I love Moses, um, I want to see the promised land. So following God's instructions. So in saying all that, y'all, we have to stop running from it. We have to. There are times when we feel like we're fighting against everything. We're fighting against our spouse. And it's not like, it's not, I'm not talking physical, I'm talking mental. We're fighting against ourselves. We're fighting against our children, people on the jobs. It's like every time we're always in battle. And there are times when you feel like you're like Nehemiah, you're just battling and building, and you feel so worn. But the thing is, um, I am so grateful that I've gotten a mentor, because my mentor reminded me, stop fighting. It's not your fight, it's God's fight. Remember to have faith in God. And that's why I am so grateful for the company, the Mary Kay, the company, and then my faith in God. Because now it's amazing how things are being tied together with when I speak with people, because I'm hearing it, and I'm listening with my heart, not just my ears. So just to be able to get them out of it. Today, after I did my live on my I call it my Legacy Lovelies page. Today when I did the live, you have no idea how many phone calls that I got behind that. Just like, oh my God, you have no idea how bad I needed to hear that. Y'all, people are hurting. You are hurting. I've been hurting. And we no longer have to suffer in silence. And this is what I love about Connie. She has, okay, Connie, I mess this up every time, but I know it's sabotaging behaviors. And this, it must
Yes.
stop.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
sabotaging ourselves. But I believe it's our pattern and our habits. So it's time to start breaking those habits and introducing new healthy habits, such as when you're ready to get mentored, when you're ready to start shelling those things, when you're ready to stop fighting, it's going to start coming. It's amazing how God
Yes.
just opens it up
Yes.
and
Yes.
bring it right to you. So that has been on my heart, the just releasing the fight to God, surrendering that to him, and then your faith will kick in. Just have faith in him, but you got to do the work. I didn't say you sit down and you wait for him. You just surrender everything and sit down on the sofa. No, 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 no. You still have to work. You still have to have a plan. You still have to have strategy, because you're giving him something to bless. And whether that strategy is, you know what? I know I've been fussing at my team, or I've been fussing with my husband, or I've been, with the people on the job. There's been a lot of conflict. Stop meeting that energy. Stop meeting their energy. You meet their energy with kindness. What is it? The fruits of the spirit, found in Galatians. The
Mm-hmm.
fruits of the spirit. That's what you meet the energy with. You're not weak when you meet the energy like that. I promise you, you're not weak. You're going to show how strong you are.
Amen.
So, yes,
Amen.
yes.
I watched your Legacy Lovers this morning. I mean, you definitely talked to me. And so I
Wow.
was listening this morning. I'm like, okay, that's all I need to hear today. That is all I need to hear today, because you know what? He is so much bigger than anything that we deal with and anything
Absolutely.
that we go through. He is so much bigger than it. He is limitless. So why should we be fearful? Why should we
Mhm.
fret? Why should we go through the unnecessary worry? Let him handle it. Turn it over. Like the old church song say, turn it over to Jesus. Turn it over
Yes,
and
yes.
he'll work it out. And so
Hmm.
when you said what you said this morning, I says, okay, the deal has been sealed. I don't
Wow.
need to hear anything else this morning. Let it go. On my podcast last night, we were talking about harboring anger. And, you've been mad with somebody for years, harboring anger. It has gotten to a point you forgot why you were mad in the first place. Let it go.
Let it go.
Things happen, but it happened at that moment in time. It's not the rest of your life. So if it happened 15 years ago, move on, because see, it's 15 years later and you're still harboring. You cannot grow effectively. You cannot walk in your purpose.
Mhm.
You have to learn to let things go, because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's not that serious.
Mm-mm.
It's
Mm-mm.
not that serious. It's not. And so that's one thing that I really work on, is to let things go.
Mhm.
Things that used to tick me off, they don't bother me anymore. Now, sometimes I'm not gonna lie to you.
We're
Sometimes
still human.
you catch me at the right time and the right day, or
Mhm.
we're on.
Mhm.
I have learned to let things go. You know, I don't fall prey to invalid validation, because I only need to be validated by God Himself and validate myself. And that's it. I don't need the validation of others.
Mhm.
I no longer apologize for where I'm about to go and what I'm about to enter. No longer do I apologize for that. And if
Powerful.
you can't deal with it, I'm sorry.
Powerful.
I'm going into my purpose.
Mhm.
I'm going into my purpose regardless of what you may think or how you may feel about it. All I can do is
Mhm.
say to you, howdy, howdy.
Connie, when you were saying about, letting it go, releasing it, people were, angry about something 15 years ago. And one thing, my sister and I had a conversation, and she said something that I said to her years ago, and I said, you've allowed that to hold you prisoner for however many years, probably about 10, 15 years ago, maybe longer than that. And you've allowed it to hold, because she was like, I never forget it. I'll never forget it. And I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, yes, you should. You talk to me about it. Let's resolve that, because
Mhm.
whatever it wasn't intentional. I can guarantee you that it was not intentional. So even I'm not. I like to be transparent and talk about my shortcomings as well. Um, you know, my family say I'm very dismissive, but what I've learned is not being dismissive. Is I take care of it right then, and then I'm gone. That's it.
Exactly. You move on.
I've
You move
moved
on
on.
because there's other matters at hand of importance that have to be dealt with. Okay.
Exactly.
And you just can't keep staying in that spot. You have to move on. You have to move on. You really do.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
I thank you, Latisha, so much for joining us here at the Midweek Touch Point, and for just what you do every morning with your legacy lovelies and what you're sharing. I encourage you to continue that, because,
Thank
again, this is a hurting world that we live in right now. And
you.
every time you turn the television on, there is something hurtful, something devastating, and something sad. And
Mhm.
we need encouragement, we need inspiration, but most of all, we need to be able to demonstrate God's love to others, and they should be able to see that in us.
Absolutely.
They should be able to see that in us. So I thank you so much for joining us today for the Midweek Touch Point. This is Constance Woolard, your host of the Speak Easy podcast. I thank you so much for tuning in this morning for the Midweek Touch Point. You could have gone other places, but you decided to join us, and I thank you for that. And so until next week, God bless you and keep you, and take care.